203 BC, Parangipetai, Tamil Nadu. On November 30th, a divine child was born. His birth name was Nagrajan. In English, it translates to the King of Serpents. His father was the priest of a village temple. At the age of 5, Nagrajan gets kidnapped and sold as a slave in Calcutta. Fortunately, his new owner was a kind man and freed him soon after. He then joined a group of wandering sannyasis, people who live the life of renunciation, due to their love for God and radiant faces. And hence began the legend of how Nagrajan became one of the highest-level spiritual figures that have ever graced the earth. The teacher of teachers, revered Father Mahabtar Babaji. For several years, he traveled to different places and studied holy scriptures like the Vedas, Upanishad, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and Bhagavad Gita. At the age of 11, he embarked on a difficult journey by foot and boat with a group of ascetics to Kataragama, Sri Lanka, where he met Sid Boganath and became his disciple. He performed intensive yogic sadhana with Sid Boganath, who then inspired Nagrajan to seek his initiation into Kriya Kundalini Pranayam or Vasi Yogam from Sid Agastya. Where the term Vasi means control or mastery, and Yogam refers to the union of the individual self with the universal consciousness. It is a yogic practice that involves a series of breathing techniques, physical postures, and mental focus, with specific patterns of breathing that synchronize the breath with the movements of the spine and the chakras. It is a powerful technique that helps the practitioner to still the mind, dissolve karma, and experience the blissful state of inner peace and unity consciousness. It is said to activate the Kundalini, a spiritual energy believed to be coiled at the base of the spine, and raise it up through the chakras, the subtle energy centers of the body, to attain self-realization and oneness with the divine. Following the instructions of his guru, he became a disciple of Sid Agastya and was initiated into the secrets of Kriya Kundalini. After getting initiated, Nagrajan traveled to Badrinath and spent 18 months practicing yogic kriya taught to him by his gurus, which led him to attain self-realization. Acquiring the capacity to surpass the limitations of time and space and attaining mastery over the physical realm, he became renowned by various titles, including Mahabtar Babaji, Mahamuni, Triambaka Baba, Shiva Baba, and Badua Baba. 1861. The Himalayas. While walking in a desolate area, Lahide Mahashe, who worked as an accountant for the British government, heard a voice calling his name. Following the voice up the mountain, he encountered tall and divinely radiant Mahabtar Babaji. Despite being over 2,000 years old, Babaji appeared no older than 25, leading him to believe that the spirit of Babaji may have taken on a youthful form to communicate with him. Babaji initiated him into Kriya Yoga, revealing that he had been his guru in a past life. Though he had no memory of this, Babaji tapped his forehead and the memory flooded back. Babaji instructed him to initiate others into Kriya Yoga and to spread the message around the world. Although he desired to remain with Babaji, he was told to return and teach Kriya Yoga to others. Perhaps Babaji felt the time was right to share the message of Kriya Yoga with the world, and Lahide Mahashe would be the person to initiate it. 1894, Kumbh Mela, Allahabad. This time, Babaji was spotted in the form of a sadhu or sage by Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri, a disciple of Lahide Mahashe, who later became the mentor of Yogananda. At the Kumbh Mela, he was seen sitting under a tree with a group of attractive disciples. Onlookers noticed the striking resemblance between the Lahide's description of Babaji and the young sadhu. Babaji talked about the West and its materialism, and the need for a golden middle path of activity and spirituality between East and West. The master informed Swami Yukteswar that he had a part to play in this exchange, and that he would be sent a disciple for him to train and achieve this. That disciple was Paramhansa Yogananda. 1920, Calcutta, West Bengal. Babaji appeared at Yogananda's doorstep and identified himself as the great Mahabtar Babaji that Yogananda's master had told him about. Babaji instructed Yogananda to go to America, where he would preach the gospel of Kriya Yoga and spread the great yogic science to the West, saying, "Follow the behest of your guru and go to America. Fear not, You shall be protected. You are the one I have chosen to spread the message of Kriya Yoga in the West." Yogananda followed Babaji's command and spent over 30 years in America as an ambassador of Kriya Yoga, greatly influencing hundreds of thousands of people, just as Babaji had predicted. Yogananda shared that Babaji also had a self-realized and enlightened sister named Mataji, who was described as a young and majestic woman. During one of their meetings, Babaji mentioned to Mataji that he was considering leaving his physical body. However, Mataji pleaded with him not to do so, saying, "Please do not ever relinquish your form." In response, Babaji said, "Be it so. I shall never leave my physical body. It will always remain visible to a small number of people on this earth." If you like our content, we request you to please show your support by subscribing and motivate us to make more content. 1935, the Himalayas. While wandering in the northern Himalayas near Badrinarayan, Swami Kebalananda, who was a disciple of Lahidi and the Sanskrit tutor of Yogananda, took shelter in a cave. The deathless master appeared before him, manifesting himself from within a recess of the cave. He imparted some spiritual advice to Swami Kebalananda and left a message for Yogananda, stating that he would not be able to meet him at that time, despite Yogananda's eager anticipation, but promised to meet him on another occasion. Mahabtar Babaji is considered to have achieved the highest spiritual state, which is beyond human comprehension, and is therefore free from the cycle of birth and death. His primary objective is to aid prophets in fulfilling their unique missions and only inhabits a physical body to help humanity. He has been doing so for thousands of years and hence perceived as an immortal being with access to a higher level of consciousness and awareness. He is said to be chosen by God to remain on earth for the duration of this particular world cycle, which stretches on for thousands of years. He typically astral travels to different points of interest on Earth time to time and is presumably moving about in the Himalayan mountains with a small group of disciples where he was last seen and keeping a watchful gaze on those earnestly seeking the ultimate. He can appear in any form he wishes to help humanity break free from its worldly bonds and is regarded as supreme and unparalleled among all saints and sages. His teachings are rooted in the ancient wisdom of Yoga Sutras and emphasize the importance of meditation, self-discipline, and the cultivation of inner peace and happiness. He is seen as a spiritual guide who can help seekers to overcome the obstacles that prevent them from realizing their full potential and achieving the state of spiritual enlightenment. Through his disciples, he shared the techniques for the realization of one's true nature as an eternal spiritual being and achieve the ultimate goal of human life, which is self-realization. He encouraged his disciples to practice selfless service and to help others without expecting anything in return, highlighting the importance of service to others as a means of spiritual growth and enlightenment. He cultivated a sense of unity and oneness with all beings, pointing out that all beings are interconnected and part of a greater whole, and the realization of this interconnectedness is a key step on the path to spiritual enlightenment. His mysterious persona continues to intrigue spiritual seekers, and his influence on the spiritual world is beyond doubt. His incarnation as a human and his education under various gurus must have been intentional and purposeful, as he exists at a profoundly elevated level of spiritual consciousness and does not require birth. If you desire to seek him out, we highly recommend that you do so exclusively through a certified and validated Kriya Yoga guru and refrain from attempting to do so independently. We appreciate your presence on this journey, exploring the life and teachings of Mahabtar Babaji. Thank you for your support. Take care until next time.